When I walk in, every ancestral move. Every cell in my body got an ancient groove. I ain't searching for truth, I embody the proof. You look at me, you see the lineage. Every obstacle shift when I rise in.
Happy Tuesday, everyone, and welcome back to another round of My Patriot Report Live. I am the bridge connecting the next generation to federal contracting. I am Ratwan Hill, and with me I have the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ambassador of Peace. And if you don't know who he is by now, you might want to ask Google Gemini, Mr. Walter Cotton III. Mr. Cotton, what's the word? What's the word? I'm not even going to ask how you doing because I'm pretty sure it's like where Congress at and what they doing. What are they doing? They acknowledge some constitutional violations, but there's no actions to it. So
yeah, the word isn't a word. Today's word is AWOL. Away without leave, right? We need to understand where Congress is because the executive branch is fully engaged in what now, based on the fact that we've passed the 60-day requirement of the War Powers Act, is a wholly illegal act. And we have American dollars that are being employed without the approval of the representative. So the question is, where's Congress? Where's Congress on this issue? Where are people at?
Right. And so the question is, okay, we understand the environment right now. There's supposed to be a War Power Resolution Act, or they supposed to be bringing the troops. The executive branch should rein in the troops and bring them back home. My question is, so it seems just like a simple either yes, we agree to keep this going, or no, we don't agree, let's bring them home. Why does it seem like it's such a difficult decision, or there's a lack of decision making being made if it's just a simple decision, approve it or stop everything and bring the troops home?
You know, it's because of the intentionality of the time that we're in, and the intention of the group that we're up against. Dare I say, we have that threat that the Constitution warned us about, or the potential of a domestic threat to our security and the sanctity of the Constitution. The significance of this moment can't be lost on us as citizens of these United States, and the significance of this moment in a nation that's based on the rule of law, right? It's based on the application of the rule of law, is that when we have laws, we have to have consequences. Right? If there are no consequences to the laws, then the laws don't need to be in place. And there's some laws that we put in place who have a indicated consequence that's so strong. We have natural built-in aversions to violating them, like the 15-mile-an-hour speed limit at your local elementary school or daycare center. Right. That's an existing law that has a penalty for violating it that is enforceable: a fine, loss of your driver's license, and the like. But the real penalty for violating that law is something that's consequential. Right. It's something that goes on the conscience. It creates a scar on the community where that violation takes place. And so we have certain conditions in place that allow us to make sure that we don't violate laws that have consequences that we don't want to suffer. In this particular instance or situation, the lack of adherence to the constitutional requirement, right, creates a violation that sends a signal downrange to the citizens of these United States that we don't want to send, right? Right now, we have a situation where this violation could lead to the encumbrance of our there's my corporate counsel, an indication for you, that could require an encumbrance of our resources, that put us in an economic downward spiral that America is challenged to recover from. It could put us in a kinetic situation where we are required to lob bombs and bullets towards people and them lob bombs and bullets toward us. That is wholly avoidable. It's completely avoidable from the place that we're at right now. And so the fact that the Congress is away without leave, and we have a powerful settled law that needs to be adjudicated is a challenge that every citizen in these United States of America needs to bring their immediate attention to.
So who would be the mediator in this instance? Like, who's the ones to bring justice? Is it the Congress, or is it we the people? Is it the Supreme Court? Who's the one that needs to be engaged to make this decision? Because if what we're doing right now is unlawful because it's outside of that 60-day window, who's the one that enforces that?
Well, it's Congress's responsibility under Article 1 of the Constitution. And when Congress gets usurped by whatever force, the cult of personality, whatever, financial investment source, our constitutional republic empowers us, we the people, with the ability to immediately engage and cause them to act. And so in this instance, where Congress has demonstrated their unwillingness to enforce existing, clearly stated, settled law, it's the requirement of we the people to step in and stop the shenanigans. And so that's why Mr. Hill and I have devised a experiment that allows us to see whether or not our Congress can react to the patriotic interest of this nation. And that experiment was surrounded or it was focused on two bills that helped him and her who bore the battle, right? That was the Contract Our Veterans Act and the Veteran
Member Business Loan Act.
The Veteran Members Business Loan Act. And as fate would have it, right, we get the opportunity to also make a contribution to another patriotic need. And that patriotic need is to provide a demonstration to this executive branch of the power that we enjoy in this constitutional republic. And so we can do that by adding the need to communicate to our Congress their requirement to rein this executive branch in right now. The shenanigans that we're seeing out of this executive branch are downright dangerous to the trajectory, to the future trajectory of this nation, and we need to rein it in. And I, for one, am willing to go on record in saying that the level of decision making, the level of discernment that's coming out of this executive branch has gone beyond the level of corrective action. We absolutely just need to simply stop it right now. We need to employ a Hippocratic oath, right? Like, first, do no additional harm. We need to quarantine the executive branch and allow that president to ride his term out. He's a lame duck president, right? He can't be elected for a third term. I don't care what people are saying with these shenanigans about the, super legislative majority and how, the son could be, I don't care what they're saying, right? He cannot be elected for another term. Right now, we've placed America in a place where we have an economic downward spiral that is only going to cause the misery index in this nation to increase and grow. We have a reputation spiral on the global front that is just disrupting the way we are going to be seen by future generations. So it's absolutely this point in time where we, the people, to answer your question, Mr. Hill, need to engage our elected officials. Right now, we need to pick up the phone and we need to call them. We need to go stand on their doorstep if we have to. And we need to tell them that they need to quarantine this executive branch, and they need to start that action by bringing this shit show that we have going on in the Middle East in compliance with the Constitution of these United States of America. And then once you get this thing right, quarantine, we need to send a message to the world of what the new America, right? What the new America is going to look like. And I'm going to leave it up to the younger generation, right? I'm handing that once we get this action in place and you all see that we still have a functional mechanism that allows us to manage and control our government, I'm passing the baton to the younger generation, right? I'm passing the baton to the younger patriots, not partisan left, right, the younger patriots that are going to make America safe again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And because I have some questions about the younger generation, and I want to get your input on it. But I did want to say, and you guys could see that the demonstration, because as we've been doing this campaign about, asking Congress to co-sponsor these bills, we've brung representatives and senators to sign these bills. And as of the last segment, Representative Baird of Indiana signed it. So we want to incentivize the individuals who are reaching out to their Congress to get them to co-sponsor. So if you're the veteran or the patriot that caused the action to get your Representative Baird to sign, or any other congressman that signed, we want to incentivize you, or if we can incentivize you, maybe incentivize a loved one with a free opportunity to learn the cotton method that's responsible for over 150 billion and is the blueprint, the standard when it comes to joint venturing for small businesses. And I did want to throw that out. But my question is,
so Mr. Hill, I want to drill down on that, because they say there are no two sweeter words in the English language than my name. So you mentioned my name, so I want to drill down into that offer. So what you're saying is that the individual who was responsible for causing the representative to co-sponsor the bill, that individual needs to reach out to you and let you know that this was the date that they reached out to the representative. And just for making that connection, that individual is going to get a $10,000 benefit. They're going to get a $10,000 scholarship that they can use for themselves, or they could share with a family member if they're not entrepreneurial enough to take advantage of the, what'd you say, $1.3 trillion wealth transfer in government contracting that's underway. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. That's 100% correct. Yes.
And so Mr. Hill's email address will surely be passing across be passing across the screen. Make sure that you reach out to him, but please continue on with your questioning.
Yes, sir. So this coming from two different generations. So I have a little sister that just graduated college, and she told me, what I was talking to her in regards to about, getting her generation, which is the 18 to 24, and more involved in, business and And she made the comment that, they're just unmotivated. They're tired. They're tired, and I laugh because I'm thinking they're so young. How are they, tired? But they're like stressed out because of, college and then living expenses. And now they got to balance both. So I would imagine for that generation is, probably really hard for them to even consider what to vote in or any type of political actions. And then from my generation, what I'm seeing is a lot of people jumping ship, I guess you could say, where they're like, okay, I don't like the way things are going, cost of living too high. I could just leave and go to a different country where I get more bang for my buck. My question is, what are your thoughts on that and that perspective of of those generations, my generation and the younger generation? What are your perspective on that mindset and how they're perceiving things in America?
It's sad to hear that that's the mindset of that young generation, especially the generation that are talking about becoming expatriates, right? That are talking about moving to other countries, because that lets me know that that's a population of people that are not educated to the real wealth, right? The real gem that is the United States of America, and the real gem, the real wealth that is the United States of America is our system of government. It is our constitutional republic. It is the fact that each citizen of this nation has the sovereign rights that are afforded him under that constitution, and the fact that we've overlaid that system with a democratic approach to electing our officials. And because of that uniqueness, right, we don't have the ability in this country for mob rule, right? The rule of law always opens the door for us to curtail the mob. So whenever the mob gets out of control, as my friend Sophia Nelson suggests, we have the ability to redefine what liberty means. We have the ability to redefine the attributes of the Constitution to curb the enthusiasm of any nefarious actor that gets out of control. So it saddens me when I hear the younger generation become disenfranchised about their view of the future, of their future here in America, and considering leaving this great nation instead of taking their right under the Constitution and mobilizing, right, in a collective that has an idea that they want their community to enjoy, and enforcing that idea through our political process, right, through our civil process. And so this nation is one of the few nations that can take the hit of eliminating the partisanism. We are one nation that can take the hit of eliminating the partisanism because we have a constitution. We have a constitution that can control the outliers of any bullying or empire building that occurs. So I become concerned when I hear our younger generation be desirous of leaving this great nation, because it's one of the few nations in the world that gives you the power to self-determine.
Yes, sir. Now, okay, I did one when you said expatriate. Do you think that they could still? It's still plausible that they're all for America. They just don't like the prices of things. They still want to support America, but they want to do it where they could be, I guess the word is maybe less financially strained for the individuals that in the lower K. Because if you look at the economy right now, or look at where we at with AI, the advent of AI, this advent of being able to do a whole bunch of things online to make money, I see that our younger generation freedom, even though this what this Constitution is for, the freedom, liberty.
I want to stop you right in the middle of that, because I think what you're saying is that they're not mutually exclusive, right? You can you can do this and you can do that. And while you were talking, I was reminded of a scene in a book written by Napoleon Hill, right? It's a book called Think and Grow Rich. And in that book, Napoleon describes a general that brings his forces to battle against a much larger force. And he brings his forces to battle on boats, ships, and he sails his men to The battle lets them get off on shore. And once they're on shore, he orders the ships burned. Right. And when I read that for the first time as a, young budding business professional, I was like, order the ships burned. I didn't really understand the significance of what Mr. Hill was trying to put across. But the ultimate point that he was trying to make is that, when you give yourself only one choice, right, to succeed, right, that motivation, the motivation that comes from that causes your capability to break its bounds. But if you have the ability to retreat in the back of your mind, right, there's always going to be a point when the battle becomes tough enough for you to turn and run. And so in this particular instance, I'm saying to our young patriots, right, America's worth the singular focus. America's worth that singular capability. We have the resources here, right? The only thing that we don't have right now is equity, right? We've allowed the K shape of our economy to get out of control, right? And we just need to bring that back into balance, and we can do that. Is it going to turn on a dime? No, it's a battleship, right? But over time, right, with the right leadership, right, with the shoulder to the grindstone, right, we can move the trajectory of this nation to a place where it fits the vision that you have of America, not the vision of someone that like myself, right? Because, I'm long in the tooth. Right. By the time a lot of these things that I'm even envisioning now come to fruition, right, I'll be pushing up daisies somewhere. But I want to make sure that you have the kind of America that you want your kids to grow up in. Right. And that's why I'm making the investment that I'm making today. Right. So that you can wake up and recognize, you know what? In America, I have the power. In America, I have the ability to pick up the phone and contact my congressman or woman and say to him or her that I want you to get my fellow Americans out of harm's way. And I can turn on CNN this evening and see it happen. You live in a nation that empowers you with the ability to act just like that.
And you brought up.
Wait. I said CNN. We're nonpartisan. I can turn on Fox this evening and see it happen. We're nonpartisan.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when you said, as I think about this, as you had said that, as you gave your statement, I was thinking, well, yeah, if the biggest problem is people are concerned about, the way the direction of America and money, those are two problems that we can fix. Like, that's something we can control. And that's the message we've been delivering. The fact that, if you're a veteran or if you're, and everybody, this is the assumption, but I'm quite sure everybody has at least one veteran in their family now, and at least one person that's an entrepreneur in your family. So the fact that you can if you're the veteran and you're not an entrepreneur, you can partner with the entrepreneur and y'all can make something happen. Now, if you just listen to what we're saying, if you're on the outside looking in, you look at the environment, right? You see the dismantling of 8A. You see them threatening to take the tribals down, women-owned small businesses. Now, you got to understand that they put a scorecard methodology that's increasing the contract actions for veteran-owned small businesses. We got Public Law 109-461, Veterans First for the VA. Service disabled veteran-owned small businesses, they have preference in DOD. Like, it's pretty much a no-brainer. You have a advantage over everybody, and you just need to know how to use your advantage. And we're telling you that you have an advantage over everybody, and you just need to know how. And we have the know-how, and this is not something that we're guessing. This is something that has already been done, and it only has gotten better, and better. That was my spill. I just want to throw that out.
I mean, what I think you're trying to impress upon the listener is the fact that we're inviting you to participate in a game of radical economic patriotism
Yeah.
that has your name on it. I mean, if you're a former serviceman or woman, the conditions have been ushered in this country such that you are the least risk awardee of contracts that
Mhm.
right now we've quantified to be north of $1.2 trillion, right?
Mhm.
We've identified a $1.2 trillion wealth transfer that allow you to participate in the radical economic patriotism game that we're playing to make America safe again. And all you need to have is the know-how in order to accomplish that. We've got a program that teaches you that. And, we're sharing that liberally with those who have ears to hear and eyes to see. But at the end of the day, nobody's going to give you nothing, right? In this environment, right? This is a golden rule environment. He who has the goal rules. And right now, those people that are sitting on the gold they hold serve.
Mhm.
They're ushering America into a much less safe condition. And what Mr. Hill and I and what the other patriots that are backing us are saying is not on our watch.
Mhm.
We
Yes, sir.
know that we have the ability to control this narrative, and so we're reclaiming our time. We're reclaiming our authority, and we believe that we can show you how this is done better than we can tell you. And we're starting with this simple demonstration of telling Congress to pass a war powers resolution that stops this shenanigan in Iran, that stops this shenanigans in the Middle East in its pace, brings our men and women home, and allows us to formulate a strategy in terms of how we're going to interface with the world we've now created tomorrow.
Mhm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And what came to my mind when you say economics is, radical economic patriotism. And I remember, I believe it was Friday where you had Dr. Claude Anderson book Powernomics, and economics being that foundation. I can't remember the artist or group that said this, but they were saying money, power, and respect is the keys to life. And I mean, yeah, economics, money. When you have the money, you are able to have more power. You're able to make decisions for you and your constituents, and then with that comes the respect because you built those pillars. So I did want to throw
Not,
that.
keeping it straight and not getting it twisted from the money, power, respect point of view. We live in a golden rule society, right?
Yep.
He who has the gold rules. Okay. We have an enormous wealth transfer underway as this nation goes through the process of reshoring the manufacturing assets that we need to serve this nation, as we go through the process of reestablishing our supply chains, right? Our commerce pathways. And as that wealth transfer is happening, there are going to be new winners and losers that are going to be picked, right?
Mhm.
You have an opportunity to be picked as one of those winners and losers, right? The great universal energy in the sky has caused a change in the theater. And you all, if you don't know what my philosophy is, let me share it with you now. I believe that when you sign up to play a game, like the game of life, you got to play by the rules that are there when you sign up. But occasionally, right, during that tenure, there's a change in the theater, which allows you to change the game. We're at one of those critical inflection points right now where there's a change in the theater that is ushering in a new balance of power. And that void, I believe, is going to be filled by patriots. It's going to be filled by a radical, right, economic patriotism that looks across the United States of America and it sees one nation of human beings. It doesn't see a nation of blacks, a nation of whites. It sees one nation of human beings that are working together to form a more perfect union. And you have an opportunity to be a part of that today. Won't you join us?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And guys, on that note, we'll catch you same place, same time tomorrow. I am Ratwan Hill, and that is the Mr. Walter Cotton III. Until next time.